What's up guys, Freezy here. In the upcoming event of Arknights, we're getting 5 new operators. In this video I'll be reviewing all of them in detail. Since there's quite a lot to talk about, let's get straight into the reviews, starting with Midnight. Midnight is a range guard. He is one of the strongest freestyle operator in the game. Interestingly, Midnight performs way better than the 4-star Frostleaf. When you activate his skill, Midnight turns into an arts damage dealer for up to 40 seconds. Since arts damage only gets reduced by percentage, Midnight is one of the few freestyle operators that is somewhat relevant in the late game. If you don't have Lapland or Silver Ash, definitely consider leveling Midnight. Range Guard is a very good class due to its versatility, and having a melee arts damage dealer is very important in a lot of the later maps. Bee Hunter belongs to a very special subclass of guards. I call this type the Vanguard Guard. Indra is the only other operator who belongs to this subclass. The Vanguard Guard subclass costs only around 10 DPs to deploy. They have the fastest attack speed in the entire game, 0.78 seconds per attack, but their HP, attack, and defense are all very low. So functionally speaking, they perform like a more powerful version of Vanguard, but does not have the ability to regenerate DP. They only block one enemy, so the best way to utilize this class of guards is to place them in front of your Vanguard when fighting a lot of early rush enemies. Overall, this class is not very useful. They have high DPS, but due to their low attack stats, their performance against enemies with armor is quite bad. Now back to Bee Hunter. She is in every way a worse version of Indra. Indra is strong because of her ability to deal arts damage, which bypasses enemy armor. Bee Hunter just attacks really fast. While she does get attack bonus from repeatedly attacking the same target, her overall stat line is just a bit too low to make an impact in difficult maps. Bee Hunter also has the highest built-in evasion out of all the operators if you max her first skill. The high evasion does allow her to win some 1-on-1 fight against elite enemies, but her ability as an assassin is far weaker than Project Red. Overall, Bee Hunter is a low-value 4-star, outclassed in almost every way by other operators, and she doesn't do anything unique to impact your strategy. Nightmare is a single-target caster suffering from an identity crisis. She has one of the most interesting character design in Arknights, but the execution is so bad, she ended up being one of the least used 5-star operator in the game. Nightmare has 2 skills, and her role changes depending on which skill you use. The first skill, when activated, allows her to heal up to 2 allies in her attack range whenever she deals damage. The healing is very strong since caster attacks a lot faster than medic, and caster has higher attack value. The problem is that if you bring this skill, Nightmare's damage output is very low. In general, it is way more effective to use a healing defender with a better damage dealer due to defender's blocking limits, but having the ability to provide a lot of healing for 60 seconds is not too bad. The second skill applies a very strong slow to up to 5 enemies in her attack range. This slow can last up to 10 seconds, and it is one of the strongest slowing effects in the entire game. Enemies also take damage based on how much they moved while the slow is on them, dealing 800 true damage per tile moved. So this skill is absolutely insane, if it is manual cast. The problem with this skill is that it auto casts, so whenever you need a slowing effect, it is always against some important target, so having the ability to control when to apply the slow is very important. Overall, like I said at the start, Nightmare is a caster with an identity crisis. She tries to be a medic, a support, and a caster at the same time, but is not good in all 3 areas. Nightmare is one of the lowest DPS 5-star in the game. When she is in a class that's designed to do damage, that's just not good. So I do not recommend investing resources into Nightmare. She does have a few situations where she can be extremely good, but there are always better options than her. Grani is a retreat type Vanguard. She has very high stats for a Vanguard Vanguard, especially in defense, and she gives you 1 DP for every enemy she kills. When comparing combat performance, Grani performs like a defensive version of Vigna, but what's really unique about her is her second skill. The second skill turns Grani into a Block 2 Vanguard with very high defense. At Elite 1 max level with level 7 skill, Grani already has higher defense than all the early rush type enemies. At the same time, she attacks all blocked enemy at once, so she has consistent AoE damage output. However, due to her skill having long cooldown and reduced attack range, you usually retreat Grani after her skill expires and never use her again in the later stage. So Grani is used mostly as an early rush defender, and she's extremely good at it. There are quite a few high difficulty maps where only Grani can solo defend the early rush. Overall, I would rate Grani about the same, maybe a bit lower than Vigna, which is very good. She is just very focused on defending high attack enemy rushes, but her lack of impact as the map plays on does hurt her late game performance by quite a bit. When used on normal maps, she loses to Vigna due to the lack of flexibility and lower damage output. So Grani is a situational character who is extremely good at the job, but does not offer too much general utility when compared to other top tier vanguards. Lastly, we have Skadi, the 6-star guard. Skadi is extremely strong in lore, and that translates to her having extremely high stats in game. Her second skill gives her insane attack boost for a set amount of time after deploy. However, this skill only triggers once when deploying, so with the second skill, Skadi functions like a single target assassin. You drop her anywhere on the map and assassinate important enemy, then retreat. The third skill just straight up gives her plus 130% in all her stats. This is a long cooldown but long duration ultimate type skill. When activated, her stats are so high, Skadi can take on pretty much any enemy one-on-one, including bosses. And that is the main theme for Skadi. She is extremely good on one-on-one situations. Her class is the normal guard, which has high attack, high HP, but low defense. This class is pretty much designed to take on enemy elite or bosses one-on-one, and Skadi does it to the extreme with her monstrous stats. However, aside from that, Skadi doesn't offer much else. Compared to other 6 stars which offers multiple functionalities, Skadi is very focused on her one role and does it to the extreme. This means Skadi is extremely good when you are min-maxing your team for specific situations, but when building a general team, she doesn't have much to offer. Overall, Skadi is extremely powerful but niche operator when compared to other 6 stars. With the current game environment, Skadi is probably the least useful 6 star in the game. She shines mostly in challenge mode or high difficulty maps when you have to min-max your team for specific tasks. And that's it for the new operator reviews. This is the first time I'm doing full-scale reviews for Arknight's characters, so if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.